Yes, good evening to all of you. So today we have very exciting session today that is related to web mapping APIs using Leaflet. So Leaflet is one very popular mapping open source library which is used across the globe for developing web mapping applications. Okay, so if we see we were having a small. So let us go where, but from the starting point, from the starting, we are seeing this diagram, client-server architecture. Where is this leaflet fitting over there? So we have seen that we have a web server over here. When we have the application servers here, then we have the geo server also. Now these geo servers are published, they publish the layers or the processes. Okay, now how the client can fetch it, how the client can use it. These clients, different kinds of clients, they can fetch those GIS map services using a leaflet code. Okay, or a leaflet code. Where the leaflet code resides now, the leaflet code resides in your web server. It can be at the client end also. Okay, if it is there at the web server end, so once you make a request, it is accessed. This leaflet library will fetch those layers from your GIS server and it will respond to the client. So that way, so somewhere here also, but you can write them individually also. If you are not putting them in a client server mode, so directly you can build your leaflet application or the web mapping application and keep it there, but that will be only for your individual use. Suppose you want to disseminate it to a large number of users, then you have to keep your leaflet application somewhere in this web server here. Okay, so let us see one typical architecture which I have adopted from somewhere. So if you see it here, these are the clients now. Okay, it can be a QGIS, leaflet can be a client, open layer can be a client. Yesterday we had a good lecture from this open layer. Now when these clients, they are making a special request, it can be in the form of a WMS, WFS, or WCS. So these requests are again going to this Apache Tomcat at the server end here. Okay, in the server end I have a web server. So we can see it here. This is the Apache Tomcat web server. Now this web server is passing that same information to the GIS server. Now this GIS server, it can fetch the information either from geo server or map server, or it can take it from post GIS also. All the lectures we have already covered. So it takes the data set from there and gives it back as a response to these clients. So we will be basically focusing on our leaflet component today. So what is leaflet basically? Leaflet, we can just understand it by few points are there, then we will go to the coding part also. It is an open source JavaScript library. First of all, you have to understand that you should be aware of some sort of JavaScript programming also. We had one lecture for that also on the Java. That's why we have kept it over there. So JavaScript, if you have a little bit of idea, it is not a very tough language, a very simple, easy to learn language, JavaScript. Whatever you are saying or whatever you are writing, the same thing, if you put it in a very structured way, then it becomes your Java program, your JavaScript program. You will see one example of it also. Again, it was released somewhere in May 13, 2011. And very important point, it is a mobile friendly also. Okay, your applications you are developing, it is mobile friendly also. It is compatible with your mobiles also. They are very exciting maps which you can create in a desktop based environment or in the client server environment. If you want to access those maps in the mobile phone, then also it becomes very you can say a very user friendly visualization is provided to you in that mode also. We also have a well documented API for this leaflet. If you go just search through internet, you will be finding lots of documentation in the form of videos, in the form of some tutorials also, sometimes also in the form of a workshop also. People have conducted many workshops also in the past, wherein they have kept certain sets of data sets as well as all the codes also are available over there. So these are available not only as a documents, as a video tutorial, as well as we can say in the workshop formats also. Now there are numerous community plugins as well. People have developed plugins for it. Let us say one example is suppose my leaflet is not having any one task I was having. I want to blink or I want to animate my point. So I have some meteorological station. One question there, some person was asking. So we will try to address that question also. If not, then I will say it in some other time if you can address that one. Okay, suppose I have a map and all those points I want to change those colors with respect to time. So some sort of animation I want to add to those point layers or to any line layer or any polygon layer. So for that, there are community plugins which have been developed and that can be utilized very easily. They can be integrated into your leaflet application. So that becomes very simple and all the codings are basically available for it. So you can just with a few codes of line, you can add those community plugin into your leaflet application. Okay, now let us creating the first leaflet application. So before creating the application, we require there are certain prerequisites that you should be aware. Whether it should have there are at least 5 steps are there. So before writing your mapping application, you have to follow these 5 steps. What are those 5 steps? The first one, you have to include a leaflet CSS file in the header section of your document. So already we have seen that how to write an HTML file. So there are different kinds of sections over there. Some sections are head was there, title is there, body was there. So the head section, you should import or you should mention the reference of your CSS style, leaflet CSS style in the head section of your program. And then the second step is including the leaflet JavaScript file after the leaflet CSS. So once you have mentioned this thing over there, then you have to mention your leaflet JavaScript link also. Now these two things, the CSS and the JavaScript this reference, there are 2 methods for it. One you can do directly, you take it from the internet and refer it in your document, or you can do it like this way also. You download it and keep it in your WebEx folder. Now from there you can directly access it. So you need not to give this much big name over there. You can just give the name of your server and it will be accessible. But there are certain limitations for that. Suppose you have downloaded a particular version of leaflet, okay, and there are some updates to it. So if you have that thing in your local computer, then you have to check it again and again for updating those libraries. Whereas in case of internet here, if you are directly accessing from the internet, then these things are not at all required. So they will whatever is updated version, that will be available. But again, limitation for internet also, you should have internet connectivity always. You should have a continuous internet connectivity to fetch these references from the internet. Okay, so same thing is true for your JavaScript leaflet file as well. Okay, both the things. So these are the first 2 lines which you need to include in your the web mapping application. Okay, now let us see how we do that one. So what you have to do, if you see the first line of your, suppose I want to create one web mapping application, how to do that one using leaflet? The first thing, you create one HTML file. HTML is the first tag for it. Head to section, this I told you, head. In this head section, you have to add those 2 libraries. Link, you need not to remember it. Just copy it from the leaflet documentation page and paste it over here. The first link here and the script, both the things you can be copied directly in the head section. You need not to write any separate, need not to remember all those things over here. You have to just copy it over here. Then once these things are kept copied, this is your step number 1. Copy the CSS style and the JavaScript style in your document. Then if you see it here, step number 3, make sure that your map container has definite height, or for example by setting it in the CSS. Once your both the style as well as the JavaScript library are imported in the head section, then what you can do, you can now, because you have to put your map on the web environment, so you should set the height and width of your map as well. Okay, because your map cannot cover the entire space, although you can write some collapsible sections over there, but you should decide how much, at which size your map will reside. Okay, so this is one style. This is again you can set in your head section. So we will see more details onto it also. Then you have to put a div element with a certain ID where your map to be. Now you have to create one division IP, div IP over here. Then you have to give one map ID for it also. Okay, now this was step number 4. So we will write the complete code. So step number 1 was styling. Step number 2 was again the JavaScript library. Step number 3, you have to decide the size of your map. Step number 4, you have to create one ID for your map, which can be referenced throughout the document then. Okay, so this needs to be done over there. Then step, if you see it here, so this was your HTML head section. Step number 1, leaflet style inclusion. This first we have done. Second, leaflet JavaScript library inclusion we have done over here. Then after that, we can, after this style, particular style, you can give it in the head section as well as you can give it outside the head section also. Okay, you can create one style for your deciding the width of the map. So if you see it here, I have given one ID to the map. That is the map ID. That where I am referring this map ID. This map ID is being referred inside the body section in the div. This is plain HTML file only. So here, this map ID for this, because I am referring this map ID in the style, so that's why I have put it one hash and map ID, and then I can do whatever I want with these styles for this map. Okay, now if we go further, step number 4, this we have seen earlier also, define the map here. Leaflet inclusion, leaflet JavaScript inclusion, style for the map container we have seen. Step number 4, we have defined a map container also. Define the map container with a particular ID. So I have created one div, and this is the ID I have defined over there, and close this div ID. So your that container is defined with this particular code of line. Okay, then you have to define all the mapping work over here. If you see it in the body, I have defined the container. Now after this container, we have to write one script tag over here. Inside the script tag, we will do all our mapping work. What are those mapping work? Mapping work can be, you add one layer over there, you put one layer switcher over there, you have to put on click event over there, and you can put the pan, zoom, and suppose some drawing I want to do. So all those mapping work will come inside this script tag, inside this body tag. Okay, now let us see the example over here, the mapping work. Okay, so what I will do, let us try to do this over here also. Let us take one notepad. How earlier also one tool was told to you, VS Code. Now today I will take another one more way to write this code actually. So there is another Sublime Text. So like Notepad only. So you can write the code in Notepad, or you can write your code inside some other customized text ID or the text editors also. So anyway, you can write your text over there. Okay, now Stop sharing. Now, I think there was some small disturbance over there in the network. So let us start again here. So we can so for writing this leaflet code, we can have either Notepad or we can use any text editor also. For example, Sublime Text is one editor. VS Code is another text editor. So there are many tags, many editors which can be used for writing this code. The simplest one is the Notepad, basically. Okay, Notepad plus is another option where we can write this code. So, but this Sublime Text or some different kind of some interactive text pad editors, they provide you this color coding also. Once you are writing the code over here, then you can have a color coding as well for all these codes. So I think it is not visible, this small. I will zoom it further. Let me change it here, or what I will do it like this way. Control Z, Control C. It will be visible to you in the Notepad itself. So Notepad. Now if you see it here, how to write that code, we can have it like this. The first one is the HTML tag. Okay, first HTML, then I have the head, and then inside this head, this one is not required basically. Okay, this particular code is not there. I will start it from the scratch. Okay, let us remove this one. So here you have to start it by HTML, and then second you have to write the 2 lines which I told you in the PPT also over here. Leaflet inclusion. Okay, so that you need to done. /HEAD head, and then we have to close it also head. Okay, now inside this head, now I will write these 2 lines over. Okay, these 2 links are there. These are available in the internet also. Directly they are available in the internet. You can just copy it from there and you just include it there. First line. Okay, this is the style sheet which I have just copied over here. Link. Another is the JavaScript. This link is basically the style, and the second one is the JavaScript. So these 2 lines are very much required for this. Control C, I will just copy it here. Control V. So these 2 lines are directly available over the internet also in the leaflet leaflet page. If you go to that page also, so these 2 lines. First is the style. Second one is the JavaScript library. So this I have added. Then I told you that we need to write the style also. Okay, how to write the style here for the size of that map. STYL is style, and then we will say it here. STYL is style. Then style here I have to write here. We have seen one here, that map ID. Okay, so this I will take it here directly from here, and then if you see it here, so I have decided that I will give ID as map ID. This is, you can have it here like my map ID, or it can be anything basically. Whatever ID you are giving to your mapping application. So I have given it as a my map or a map ID, you can say. Okay, it can be anything. So once this style is done, now I will do one body section of the HTML. BODY body here, and then you just close it also. OTY. Okay. So now here I will create the container for the map, because the style, so I have already over there how the map will be styled. What is the JavaScript library for it? That is the leaflet. This all I've included here. But my objective is that I need that map over there. You know? So for that map, I will create one container over here. So that can be created by this command called div here. Then inside the div, I have to give ID or ID to it. ID equal to, we can give it here the same ID you have to give which you have given over here. This is your map ID. MAP map ID. This is closed, and then I will close this container also. div div. Okay, then this is div map ID and then div. Okay, this is your, now your container is ready. Okay, still I am not put any map into it. So if you try to run this code, file, where you have to save this file, this is again very important. Save as. We have seen that we need to save this file in our Apache Tomcat folder. Apache Tomcat here, web apps, then here I can have it in the WebGIS folder. Let us give one example to it. First map.html. You have to save it like this, and then once the file is saved, first map.html. Now try to see it. So for that, what we have to do, we have to start our server. How to start the server? Already we have discussed in the previous class. Apache Tomcat. You have to go to this bin folder. In the bin folder, you have to write here cmd, and then here startup start. Your startup, your server will start. Now we have already deployed GeoServer also over there. If you can see it over here, web apps. So this is your GeoServer. This is also installed over here. So your server is already started. Now if you see it here, server is started. This particular screen will come up and it will show how the server has started. Since I have started it earlier only, so that's why it is showing some other components also. So now your server is started. If you go to this folder over here, now here I can see, I can have it here as just like here, localhost 8:8080, and you press enter. This is your Apache Tomcat. If you check it here, GeoServer is also working. We have to work with this also because we have to fetch one layer from here as well. Now here I will say WebGIS / first map.html. First map.html. Nothing will come, okay, because only one blank page is coming to me. Why? Because we have not given anything inside it. Okay, so what we can do, let us check it whether something is coming or not. So here I can write, or before this div container, I can write here my h1. You can write it here like h1 heading 1, my first map trial, first map trial, something I have trial trial. Okay, and then close this h1. Now let us see here, Control S, save it. It is saving there only. Then you just click it here, my first map trial. It is coming over here, but map is still not there. Why? Map is still not there because we have not defined any map definition to it. Although we have imported the styles and the JavaScript or the leaflet, but we have not given any map. So what I can do here, script, you have to use this code now. You have to close it also, script. Script. Inside this code, you have to write all your leaflet or your mapping application inside this one. Okay, so let us try to understand how the map definition are written over there. Okay, so if you come to this place here, again I will come to the slide here. If you see it here, the mapping now, this is the first step. Add a GIS WMS Bhuvan LULC map I want. Okay, my first target is that using this leaflet, I want to add one Bhuvan LULC map. So this we have seen it. This is the URL for that Bhuvan LULC map that we have seen some day back also. How to get this URL. This URL is directly available in the Bhuvan Geo portal. If not, let us go back to this one. We can check it again. If you see it here, I will take it to this other place here. I will have it here like bhuvan.nrsc.gov.in, and then I have here thematic services. If you check this thematic services, I am interested in Uttarakhand region. I will go to land use land cover here, and let us go to Uttarakhand here, then view. So if you see the web services here, so this is your link over there. Okay, if you see it here, this is your link, WMS link, which where I have done, I have clicked on this web services, and then this is your link. This the same link I have used over here also in your PowerPoint, in this presentation over here, whatever I have in the code also I have written over here. So if you see it here, how we write that mapping application now. So after those prerequisites, you have to add your maps. First, you have to create one variable. Okay, what is that variable? This is the map container. One container already we have made it over here, defined. this is the container inside the HTML. But where the actual map will lie, we require a widget for that map, the container for the map. So we have variable, we have to create one variable, my map equal to L dot, L is, what is L now? How, from where this L is coming? This L is for the leaflet. If you have not imported the leaflet in your program, then this will not work. Now, since we have already included the leaflet library in the head section, so this L dot map function will work. So if I say L is a leaflet, dot map is one function for it. Now this map ID I am defining for it. Okay, the map ID which we have defined in your container also. If you see it here, this is the map ID. The same map ID I am using it here also inside this script. Now since we are out from the HTML, we are into the JavaScript. Now here I can give some options also, like June 3, or we can script it also. So there are many options. These options can be defined before the script as well. If you see it here, now the second one, this is a container. Now I have the WMS layer. Okay. So in WMS layer, I will say L.tileLayer.WMS. This is the method actually. Again, this leaflet, this is again a variable. L is your leaflet, and this is the method for calling a WMS layer or the WMS map, web map services. This can be used, this method can be used for calling those methods, okay, for those layers. So if you see it here, after this, I am putting the URL of that layer. This is the URL I have pasted over here, and then inside the URL, I am defining the various parameters which Bhuvan Geo server was also providing to me. What are those parameters? Name of the layer. Okay, this was there. Transparent, true. This can also be done. We can set the transparency of the layers also. Maximum zoom here also. Again, I am defining 14, and minimum zoom I am defining here as 0. I am saying the format should be image or PNG. This version 1.1.1. It is available there in the Bhuvan website if you check it over here. So all these details are here available. So because these are the metadata which are required for utilizing these maps over here. If you see it here, this is the layer version, this is the layer name, and there are other options also, or format also there. Need not to take all, only few we can take. So once you have taken these layers, then you can define attribution also for it. Attribution, let us you want to say ki this map belongs to this, a metadata kind of thing. You can add it here also at this place. Now once this layer has been defined, your map is defined. Okay, one division is the HTML defined. Inside that division, I have a map component or a map container, this which I have defined using this map function of leaflet with the map ID, and then I have defined the layer also. Once this layer is defined, then I am saying this my map dot add layer. Now this, what is this my map? This is my map is your container which you have defined it over here. Okay. Once it is defined, then you have to add this WMS layer inside this. Okay. So what we are doing, my map dot add layer is the function again. Okay. WMS layer, I am just putting it here. So it will do the remaining work for me. So let us try to do it here. What it does. Let us copy it here directly. Control C. I will copy it here. Now this is the script. Now inside this I require that particular map and the WMS layer. Once it is done over here, your layers are, the map is defined, layer is defined, container is also defined. So now let us try to save it here. Control S. Now if you see your first map, we will just go to that part here. Localhost first map. Let us click here, enter, and try to see if it is saved or not. Let me save it here. My first map trial, then it is closed here. HTML layer also we script L, it is fine here. Zoom level 3 map ID, it was map ID only, map ID, yes. Control S, you save this layer and then refresh the page. So nothing has come. So you have to check the errors. This is again an important thing, how to check the errors. So you can go to this in the, if you are in the Chrome, there are 3 dots over here. Just click on this more and developer tool. So it will tell you there are some errors this is, it says you have an error and line number 18. So let us check what is that line number 18 here. First line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. So I have one error at this particular line. Okay, it is saying here, you can see it here, uncaught error, invalid expected token. So something we are missing at this place. So let us check it here then. L.tilelayer.wms. This is the URL name for this, comma. Then again we are taking it the same thing only. I will just check it here. I have already created one first map for you here. Test here. Open with, let us say, Notepad. So we have already created that map basically. This was your previous one. Now let us check it here. What is the error at this place? L.tilelayer.wms https bhuvan-vec nrsc. This URL, let me check it again here, whether this URL is correct or not. I have copied that URL from there. Let me check that URL. Maybe the problem with the URL also sometimes. Yes, then I will say the script here. Just example here. Open with. Let us open with the Notepad. So I will just check it here. The tilelayer.wms. It is fine here. Everything is okay. So there can be first map. Okay. So although this layer seems to be same, but we will just check it here. The where WMS layer equal to L.tilelayer.wms. This is your method. This is line number 18 also, and then there can be one error here. Okay, let us save it again. Or I will take it from here directly because I already have that code with me. So what I will do, I will take it from directly from here, WMS layer. Okay, Control C. I think if you check it here, there may be some error with it. Semicolon is required basically here because you have to terminate each and every line of your JavaScript with a semicolon. Okay, let us see here now. Let us try to check it here whether that map is there or not now. Uncaught error. Some error is still coming over there. So what I will do, I will try to replace this. There may be some typographic error while typing it, so I will just change it like this. Control V. Okay. So now we will have. Okay, this is map is defined there. Then I was having my map dot add layer. Add layer. Add layer. Then we have my map. Okay, this is a thing over there. Let us save it here. Control S and then go to this place here again. Now it is coming fine here. Okay, so now still I am not able to see the map. Why? Because I have to define the extent of this map as well. Otherwise it won't come. You have to define the extent of those maps also. Although you have defined the map, so if you can see it here, your leaflet applications is also visible over here. This map container is visible to you, and the span, zoom, all those things you can do it over here. But you don't have the extent of those maps. So you define those extent. This is a very common mistake which we do. So we have to define the extent of that map as well. So that extent of map can be defined here as well. I can say it here directly. I have already taken it from there. So extent of map are like this. We can have it here. These are the 4 bounds. Okay. So we will define the boundary for that map also. Control C. If I say here, Control V. This is the code which we use for defining the map extent. Variable 1 corner, L lat long. These are the first corner 2, L dot lat long. Another coordinates for the second corner, and then bounds. So we have created one variable called bounds equal to L dot lat long bounds corner 1 and corner 2. These can be defined in one variable itself over here. VAR where corner 1, corner 2, and then bound. 3 variables I have defined in one line only. Now bound 1 is your corner 1 and corner 2. Once your bounds are defined, what you can do, my map dot, this is the my map where we have added the layers. Now this layer I will say fit bound, fit to these bounds only, because these bounds plays a very important role over there. Now we will try to see it here. So control F5. So your bounds, again it is giving a small problem here. Let me correct it here. I think some mistake I am doing here. Already I have written some code, some typing mistake may be there. So that I will try to correct here. Where is that? Yeah, my map. So if you see it here, variable corner 1, comma corner 2 bounds also. All the maps at the end of it here, semicolon is also there. Just check the code also if any errors are there. So this is also fine there. Then we can map dot fit bounds. Again, I will just check it with this example here. First map. This is the example with us here. Layer dot where dot corner. Then I can layer add to map. Okay, my map here, and then we will have it like this. Control X. We have to change the sequence of the line fit bounds, and then Control S. Now let us try to check with this map here. Control F5. So your Bhuvan layer should appear over here. Somehow it is not appearing. So what I will do, I will take the already existing code which I had with me. We can some typing mistake may be there with this code here. So this is, if you see it here, your code is like this, somewhat like this. You have all the layers are defined. Then corner 1, corner 2, this first map application I will tell you how it will come basically over there. If you see it here, I have created one example for you, first example. Okay, so this one I will just copy it and I will paste it to your Apache folder here, Apache Tomcat web apps, and then we can WebGIS folder we are having, and then we can just paste it here. So if you see it here, the first example, I will again go to this place here, first example, first map, or NPN, first example. Or the name of that code is FNER capital. This is case sensitive as well. First example. So it will display your map as well over here. It should display basically. Some problem may be there. Let us check that what is the problem with this one. We will check it here. Incognito, more tools, then developer tool over here. Then if you see it here, UK okay, this is again one code, one line was there which I should have commented first example. So I will just take it something from here, some data set also I was supposed to copy at that place. We will check it here. This Kingston, it is here website here, it is lecture here, 21 EduSat, WebGIS, and data. Okay, Control C. I will copy this data also. Some other exercise it was there. Apache Tomcat here, then web apps, WebGIS, then paste here. Okay. Now let us try to see all the settings I have done. I will just tell you also what is the problem. What problem was there actually? It is again, it is giving the problem. Control F5. So what we can check it, what is the error with it here actually, basically developer tools here again. So it is saying this is error at UK disk GeoJSON data, WebGIS data. Okay. So I think I have to change the first file to this actually, basically first example. Okay, your first it will come like this here, D drive. I will just see it here, lecture here to your 2.1. Our first example was like this only. Directly, let me try to run it directly. First example. Okay. So if you see it here, your map has come over here, but this again, these are the tools which I need to tell you again. So this is your Bhuvan LULC map is coming over there. So it will come something like this. The same code which I was trying to explain you with the first map actually. This one, the first map. So that was the first component over my first map here, and then tile here, transparency true, and we can define all these points over here. Bounds also defined it over there. The same thing I have defined it for this particular code also. So again, coming back to this. So this was one example which was showing how to add the Bhuvan layer or the LULC map from Bhuvan into your using the leaflet. Okay, let us take another example here. One another example is one example you can have it like add a layer switcher. If you see it here, we have one more option for it. We were having this zoom 3 option over here. Now this zoom 3 option, it can be replaced by directly creating a variable called map options. Okay, once you create that map options, there you can define the center, the zoom level, attribution, or the scale. So there are many other options available with the map which are used for those map display purpose. So these can be defined as a single variable. Now once it is defined as a single variable, then that variable can be put it over here directly. I have defined one variable over here. Now this variable is coming to me as a map options over here. So this is now my next task is first that we have added the Bhuvan layer over there. Now I want to add a layer switcher also. Okay, how to add a layer switcher means name of the layer should be visible to me. I should be able to switch it on and off. How to do that one? That is again, this is your first line map component. This is your layer component. Now these are the layer parameters over here. Then we create one variable, one separate variable which defines the name for your layer. So I have variable base map created, and then this is one text which we want to display as for the layer name. Suppose I have a legend over here, the layer name, I want it should be displayed like this, because your Bhuvan or some other WMS layer, it may be having some XYZ name. You want to give your own name for it. So I can give the name like this, LULC map 1112, ISRO Bhuvan GeoPortal, something I have written over here. And after colon, I am putting WMS layer. So this is a WMS layer. This can be defined over here also. Then once it is done, once this variable is defined, what is this variable doing? This variable is assigning one name for it and is giving the layer name as well from over here. Once it is defined, then there is another control called L.control.layers. Okay, L.control.layers base map. This particular base map I am adding over here, and then once it is there in the layer control, then we can add this layer control to the map, this map. Okay, layer is there. We have created one alias for it, and this alias is added to your control, layer switcher, L.control, and once it is there in the layer switcher, layer switcher can be added to your map directly, as we have seen in our example as well over here. If you see it here, this is your layer switcher over here. At the right hand side, you will have one layer switcher also. Once you keep your mouse over there, it will display this map. Okay, now this can be, I have created it as a base map, so that's why it is fixed map over there. So this map is a fixed map. Now I want to add one more layer on top of it. How to add that one? That is also very simple here. The layer switcher is there now. Now LULC map is there. I want, let us say, the district boundaries, and that layer is available to me in the form of a GeoJSON. This layer was available as a WMS. Now the next layer is available as a GeoJSON. So how to do that one? So I can have like this method also. Directly you can write it here. Variable GeoJSON layer L GeoJSON layer underscore bracket and then name of the layer. Okay, this was your first Bhuvan layer and this is your GeoJSON. But before adding it over here, you need to add this particular layer in your head section as well. Okay, if you see the code, I will show you here. If you see it here, so I have to add that layer name over here in the head section. It's like script, like we have the leaflet script over here. Similar way for GeoJSON, I require it to be defined at the top. So now my name of the layer is uk_dist.geojson. You can check it here also. Data uk_dist geojson. You try to open it. You can directly open it over here. Open with Notepad. I can open this GeoJSON file. If you see it here, dist underscore UK is the variable name here. Okay, how to create this JSON file? Open any file in your QGIS, export it as a GeoJSON, and at the top you just mention this thing, var variable dist dist underscore UK, and the other things remains the same. These are the your features we have come up from the save file. So this is defined over here. Now what we are doing here, I am defining that GeoJSON layer over here. If you see it here, script src equal to data slash UK underscore dist dot GeoJSON. So if you see it here, this is the data folder. Inside that I have UK underscore dist GeoJSON. Okay. Once it is done, so this layer required. Okay. This script, this entire data set you have defined in the script in the head section. Now coming to the bottom here, if you see it here, I can define that as a GeoJSON layer directly like this. Variable GeoJSON layer equal to l.geojson dist. So this is the line which will create one variable to it. Now I need to add this variable to my map which we have created. Okay, layer so we have created now. One layer we have created WMS layer, one layer we have created a GeoJSON layer. Now these both layer we want there in the map. So if you see it here, the base map we have created earlier for ISRO Bhuvan portal. Similarly, I will create another layer by the name called overlay map. Okay, another variable I am creating, overlay map, and then here I am saying Uttarakhand district boundaries colon GeoJSON layer. What is the GeoJSON layer? It is coming from here because I have defined this GeoJSON layer over here, and name is dist underscore UK, and then you mention it over here, and then what you have to do in the control, layer control. In the layer control, I have the base map, then I can have this overlay map also. Now both the layers are there in the control, then we can add this thing to your map. This is your map container. Now what is the output for that? If you see here, the output will be here. It will show Uttarakhand district boundaries and LULC map of 2021 from ISRO Bhuvan Geo portal. So if you click on this Uttarakhand layer, you will have the boundaries overlaid on top of this LULC map. Okay, this is created. So it is as simple. Now, so two things we have taken it. We have taken the data set from Bhuvan Geo portal, and we have also taken a data from GeoJSON file. So both the files we have displayed on our using the leaflet. Now let us take another. We have in the last session we have created one geo server, and we have published one layer of satellite image of Dehradun. We have seen it. We prepared that data set, and that data set was published in the geo server. Now I want that satellite image also to be in my leaflet application here. So again, it is again very simple thing. You have to create. This is one more variable by the name WMS underscore layer underscore local, any name, and the title and the method is same as we have used for the Bhuvan. It is l.tileLayer.wms. Now here you just change the name of this URL. The name of this URL will be your geo server URL. How to get this geo server URL? Again, we can go to our geo server over here. Let us go to this geo server here. Geo server. If you see it here, it will open it here for us. So once geo server is open, then we will try to see those maps also. This is their geo server. Now let us say admin password. I told you it is geo server default password. I have not changed it here. Now here, if I say layer preview, if I say layer preview, I have created one WebGIS folder on that day. If you remember it, WebGIS, and then press enter. So your DDN city and list 3. If you see it here in the open layer, it is visible to you. Now the same thing I want in my open layer application. So if you see it here, when you are previewing it in your geo server, it is giving you the name of your web server also up to WMS here. So the same thing I have copied from here, and we have just pasted it here. The IP address I am putting over here, geo server WebGIS /WMS. So same thing. If you check it over here it is the same thing, WMS slash WMS. Okay, now once it is done, then you have to define the same parameters. What is the name of the layer? What is the name of the layer? We can just check it here. Name of the layer is WebGIS list 3. This is the name of the layer. Just copy it and just paste this layer name over here. Layer colon name of the layer, version 10101. From where we have got it. Again, if you check it here in this, again in the same part, open layer over here. So it is showing here version equal to 1.1.0. You can take it from there, version, or you can skip it also. Format image slash PNG, attribution I am saying IIRS. Now, and then what we have to do, this WMS local, this one, okay, we have GeoJSON layer already we have created. Now we have created one overlay map also. This WMS from Geo server as well. Now take this variable to your overlay maps here. First, if you see it here, in the first one I had this one, and then I can, but just by one comma, I can add the other layer also. What was the other layer? This is your other layer, WMS local. So I am seeing it here, WMS local over here. If you see it here, comma, satellite image of Dehradun, colon, WMS layer. And once it is there in the overlay group, and then you can add this overlay, both the things, base map as well as overlay, comma. This was your base map, earlier one, and the second one is the base map. Add to my map. My map is your container. This is the my map. Now, if you see it here, once it is added, now the same code looks like this. If you see it here, satellite image. So I will click it here in the satellite image. So the image will be visible to me. Satellite image. Just it will come. Just hold on. Control F5. So if we check it here directly, right now I am checking it here. Satellite image. Okay, and then Uttarakhand Bhuvan Geo portal. Both the layers are coming to this place here. I think the satellite from the Geo server, it is not fetching it right. It was fetching basically. Let me check it here if there is problem in this code. Satellite image Dehradun WMS local, and it is done. Okay. We will go to this our code here. Let us check what is the problem with it here. Control C. It is not getting displayed. Control C here. Then let's check it here. Let us see here. Satellite image. Okay. Some browser issue may be there. So if you see it here, I am having that satellite image also. Now the base map we are not able to display because we have not set the transparency of this layer. So what we can do, we can set the transparency also for this layer. For example here, transparency equal to true. I can say transparent equal to true. Let us take this parameter. This is the Dehradun FCC. Then here I can give control V. Transparent equal to true. Control S. Let us save it here and then try to see what is our example. Click on this portal here and then satellite image. So your satellite image is there. Your Bhuvan map, your boundaries are also over there, and you can have your LULC Bhuvan map also over there. So just by this small change, like transparency equal to true, you can set it like this. Okay. So now we can have it. Bhuvan, his map is there. This is again. You can click it here. If you see it, it's exactly falling over there. This is your LULC map of Bhuvan Geo portal from Bhuvan Geo portal, and this was the satellite image which I have taken from my local Geo server, your own Geo server. Okay. So this way we can have it a small application like this. So what we have done today. So I will just stop here to recap over here. So we have tried to develop one small application of web using the Leaflet. In the Leaflet, we have taken one external source WMS that is in the Bhuvan. We have tried to export it in our Leaflet application. Second thing, we have one GeoJSON file. We have tried to use that GeoJSON file for our Leaflet application. Third, we have Geo server, local Geo server. From there also we have taken one WMS layer and displayed it over here. So all these things if you see the code nicely properly over here, so you think just by these variables we are creating and nothing more than that. Okay, these variables you are creating, and you have to set these URLs for those variables. Let us say if I have a tile layer map, so this L dot tile layer map, so all the WMS layer, whichever WMS layer you have, you can directly get it using this tile map layer over here. This method provides you to access any kind of, it is not irrespective of whether it is coming from Bhuvan or it is coming from some other source. Similarly, suppose I want the OSM, OpenStreetMap. So OpenStreetMap may not be a WMS. So I want that layer also into my leaflet. So that is also very much possible here. L.OSM, and you give the name of your OSM URL, OpenStreetMap, then layer that, and then add that layer to your map. So your layer will also be added into the map. Similarly, some other tools are there, like drawing tools I want. Suppose I want to draw one polygon in my map over here now. So those controls are also readily available in your leaflet application. So tomorrow we will try to add some more controls to this particular map. Like we can have a pop-up also. Suppose click on a particular polygon, it should give what are the attributes behind that map. Let us say right now we have not implemented here. Suppose I click it here, it should tell me what is the attributes or what are the properties of this particular polygon. Or suppose I want to draw something over here, I should have some handy tools over here which should allow me to draw the polygons over here. So all these tools are available, readily available, just by you have to call those methods, and they are readily becomes available in your web mapping application. Okay, so with this I end. I will take a 5-minute break, and then we can take some few questions. Although we have one more session tomorrow where we will be having some more interactivity added to this map. Server mandatory for developing a GIS web application in Java using OL4. GeoServer is not mandatory. If you see it here, GeoServer, so it is like, suppose I have some data with me, and that data I want to don't want to share directly as a physical data set. I want to just portray it. So in that case, I require this GeoServer for publishing the data as a web service. You can have some other tools also which can publish your data as a web service, so you can use those tools also. But this GeoServer is very popularly used, and many people are using it here. If you see it in Bhuvan Geo portal also, we are having it, or a popular application we can say. So that is not mandatory, but anyway, people are using it. Pratyush Singh, sir, can we create API application through Java? Yes, we can create API application through Java also, but that is a separate course. If you want a entire separate topic from this particular course, that can be a mapping API or some other kind of API. If you see it here, this entire GeoServer is developed on top of JavaScript, on top of Java only. So always you can create API using Java. Siddha Ramesh, is GeoServer mandatory for developing GIS web application? That I told you, it is not mandatory. You can have map server also. There is another web server, that the name of that map server is map server only, UMN map server. So or Java also we can have. Aruna Kulkarni, how do we get water bodies on map? So water bodies on map, so for that you have to, first of all, you have to create one water body map. Let us say this is one example over here. Now here, if you see it here, this orange color over here, they are being not orange color, but in this dark blue color. If you see, these all are the water bodies. How we have got it here? I had one satellite image like this. Now, using these satellite images, I will apply some classification technique. It can be a machine learning technique, or it can be some other supervised learning techniques, which classify this map into various features like forest map, forest area, water bodies, urban area, agricultural land. So that is a separate altogether a separate topic where you have to create a land use map out of it, or we can say a feature map out of it. You will classify this layer, this particular satellite image, for various kinds of feature extraction. So this is you have to create that map basically for it. And one example, like I say, NDWI, normalized difference water index. So there is one water index also. You just apply that water index on top of this image, and you will get all the water bodies. Then you can publish that water body as a map, and it will come in your web mapping application. Again, what, sir, can we use Nginx software? Yes, Nginx is soft. You can definitely use it. On my first day also, I told you, Nginx has lots of advantages. This is the latest web server that has n number of advantages, like concurrent users. It can handle a large number of concurrent users at the same time. So you can use it that also for developing these web mapping applications. So these were the few questions. I think we don't have much questions into it. Okay. Okay. So there is one question. Is, sir, in a single we can feed different data in a map? Sunny, I am not able to understand this question. In a single, what we can feed different data in a map? But if I understand it from this question, it is like if in a single layer. No, you have to create single variables also. Can we do SQL analysis on WebGIS platform? Yes, that can also be done. You have to enable your Geo server or some other mapping server also for SQL analysis. So I will try to see if I can cover up that SQL analysis also in the next session. Yes, that is very much possible. That can be done. Now there are many questions related to the certificate. Okay, so just one announcement for you here. You don't have any exams for it. Okay, you just have to watch the videos, and after that we have one short quiz also. That short quiz is not available full time. That quiz is only available for a certain duration of time, maybe from around 6 o'clock to around in the morning itself till around 7 o'clock in the morning. That quiz is available, and that you can attend anytime. Okay, it is not necessary you have to attend it at 6 o'clock itself. From 6 to morning 7 o'clock, you can attend that quiz. And if you are not able to get your get login for the e-class, if you are already in the e-class and you are watching this, then your attendance is marked and you will get the certificate. Proper attendance is marked, then you will get the certificate. If not, then that quiz comes into picture. If you are watching the lectures on the YouTube and you are unable to log in the e-class portal, then what you have to do, you have to attempt those questions, 5 questions, 5 or 5 questions, and then based upon those attempts, your attendance will be marked. If not, there also there is third option also. You can watch these videos offline also, where after watching these videos for around half an hour, your attendance will be marked. Once your attendance is marked, then you will get the certificate. That is not an issue for it. So this is the simple one. This was the one announcement which I wanted to make regarding the certificate, because there were many questions for it. So with this, I close it here. Tomorrow again we will meet with some more controls, how to add some more interactivity to this map. Okay. Thank you very much.